If you want to crush it in real estate on social media, this is going to be the interview for you to watch all the way through. Matt here, how can I say this? He's a natural at this, but it's nothing that you cannot do. I think one of his superpowers is that he understands the ROI on spending time creating content to build his real estate business. He understands it. And another thing that I believe is I really like about his strategy is that he's using it to get more listings. He's not really, I mean, he uses it to try to, double end his listings to, find the buyer for his listings, which is genius. But also to kind of use it to get more listings. This guy gets a ton of views. He's very creative, and it's nothing that you can't do. The reason that he's creative is because he spends time coming up with great ideas. And if you spend time trying to come up with great ideas, then you could also create great content. But the problem is, most of us don't see the ROI on the 2 hours it's going to take you to make that one video. It's like, man, that's 2 hours. That's a lot of hours of my day that I could be doing other things that's producing, ROI. Because sometimes you'll do a video and it won't really do much for your business. You don't think it's doing much, but actually, the compounding of the videos, even the ones that don't do anything, are actually building up for you some great ROI. Even the ones that don't do well have a great ROI. You just don't see it, and that's the problem. And that's why a lot of agents don't use social media in their business because they don't see that ROI. And then you have the videos that actually produce leads, produce buyers, and produce sellers. Every once in a while, if you do it enough, you'll hit one of those type of videos, and you're like, okay, boom. So Matt is one of the guys that I really look up to in terms of just content creator as a real estate agent. I asked him if he felt like he was more of a content creator, and he's just kind of like doing real estate on the side, or if he's more of a real estate agent creating content on the side. And actually, his answer was neither, to be honest. So this is just an all out interesting interview. It's just two guys having a conversation about the business, about deals, about content. And I know that you're really going to enjoy it. So if you want to, go ahead and smash the like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and let's dive right in here. The name of the game for most people should be, make a bunch of calls, build a huge database, make millions, buy a ton of real estate, retire off the real estate.
I think this industry is filled with show-offs. I don't think we need that, especially in 2023 when, rates are going up, people are defaulting on mortgages, people are having a hard time saving for their first home. I don't think people want to see a bunch of real estate assholes showing off their Gucci shoes and their nice car and their watches.
So when you say that listings are the Super Bowl of real estate, and like agents should be like taking advantage of these opportunities to expand these listings into more deals, what is the extent, what is everything that they can do to maximize those opportunities?
That's a pretty easy thing to do that doesn't cost you anything. Why not try? Shoot your shot. And then when you get one, you can use that for a lifetime.
You're using it to actually get listings. You're using it like to play against your listings, to get more listings, to show sellers impressions, to double end your own deals. That's a whole different, that's doing it right. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. So today I've got one of my favorite people on the internet, Matt Lionetti. What's up, bro?
Hey, man. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, man. Absolutely, man. So, dude, I've just kind of watched you kind of just start to crush it. You've really done a really good job um, of creating content that's very engaging, that people like, and you have to be getting tons of business from that, from a lot of different angles. We were just talking before we started the show here. We're both traveling a lot and speaking and growing that side of the business as well. So you're like me. You're venturing into other aspects of the industry, not just helping buyers and sellers. You're also helping agents, building a brand on the other side, which is, I mean, like a lot of people are like, "Oh, I want to do what you do," and I'm like, "Bro, like honestly, the name of the game for most people should be, make a bunch of calls, build a huge database, make millions, buy a ton of real estate, retire off the real estate, because like, I mean, you probably, I don't know what your number is, but I would say there's like way less than 1% of people who can actually do what we're doing in terms
Mhm.
of building a brand and like using that brand to be able to transition out of sales. That was the whole thing for me. Was I got to the point where I was bored with sales and I was like, there's a bigger opportunity with social. Let me go out and tackle this monster, this mountain. It was a new challenge. And dude, I'm sitting here, I'm out of production for a year, making way more money than I was selling,
Yeah.
and loving every second of it. But man, catch me up, man. We don't really talk a lot. I don't know a lot about the really inner workings of your business and what you do with your brand, how much you're actually in production, stuff like that. So, man, do tell.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's been crazy. I mean, I was a touring musician before real estate. So I always had that kind of, I wanted to be in front of people. So that kind of came a little easy of just like, I guess, taking risk. I think that's something a lot of people don't do is take risks. They're just too scared. And I just was
Take
plugging
the
away
risk
at
of
it.
like putting yourself out there, you mean? Like just
Yeah.
being in
Yeah.
front of
Yeah.
people?
In front of people, and that could go with anything. For me, it was putting myself out there on video. I wasn't natural on video at all, but I knew it was something I wanted to do, and I took that risk of people not liking me. And I knew early on that, like, okay, if I am a little um, outlandish and a little on that line of should he say that, should he not say that, I'm going to get a lot of opinion, and that's good. That's what I wanted. I wanted people to stop and stare and react. I didn't just want to be another, I just didn't want to be another person, another agent like everyone else. It's easy to get lost and sucked into that hole of, oh, show off your numbers and show off. Like, it's a lot of, showing off in this business. And I didn't want anything to do with that. So I think early on I learned that, I could take risk, and it's benefited great for me. And it's just been, a lot of people think it's like an overnight thing. I just posted a couple of videos. It's silly. I'm getting no business from it. I'm funny, but that's it. I'm adding no value to clients, but it's not that. I've been plugging away at this for 4 years now, and I have a pretty clear vision of how I want things to go. Um, and it really is just, I'm funny. I try and make funny content for people to consume, and it's digestible and easy. But at the end of the day, I use those insights that I get on my videos for listing appointments, mainly listing appointments, because now I go, some of these videos have 400,000 views. And it's like, when you're going into a listing appointment where everyone's saying the same thing, they're going to stage your house, professional photography, put it on Zillow, whatever. I have that extra thing of like, well, look, my videos get hundreds of thousands of views. Not every agent can say that. My social credibility of over 60,000 followers aren't everything. We all know that, but it's an organic following. It's an engaged following. And that's something that I can add that other people can't. So I'm just trying to use whatever I can. And it's really started this year. It's really started to kind of pick up in terms of real estate business. Beginning of last year, I started speaking a lot more. But this year, at the beginning of the year, I teamed up with someone. She's more traditional in the sense she does a lot of referrals and relocations and things like that. And I'm obviously kind of new school in terms of real estate with the social media side. So us teaming up was like, it's been great for our clients because they're getting kind of a fresh look of each other's business and stuff like that. And we're landing some pretty high end properties. We have a $14 million listing right now, another $4 million listing where um, in the earlier days, my average price was 900,000. So, I know to some people, 4 million, 14 million isn't a ton depending on where you're located, but for us, it's a pretty big deal. And yeah, we're just trying to do things differently. We're trying to put clients first, and not make it so showy. I think I think this industry is filled with show offs. I don't think we need that, especially in 2023 when, rates are going up. People are defaulting on mortgages. People are having a hard time saving for their first home. I don't think people want to see a bunch of real estate assholes showing off their Gucci shoes and their nice car and their watches. I think there has to be more substance moving into the next kind of chapter of our careers.
Yeah, and the next chapter of the internet too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the way people utilize the internet, social media. You're right. It's like clients want relatable. They want somebody they're like, I like that guy,
Mm-hmm.
or girl or whatever. No, like 14 million. I don't even think there's a property worth 14 million in my entire market. Okay.
Okay.
And I know you're
Yeah.
like, with you being with the agency, you guys are more high end luxury, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Especially in like LA,
Yeah.
Aspen, places like
So
that.
like you're
Yeah.
used to agents who are doing these big, massive, huge deals, but honestly, like, the average agent, like they don't even have 14
Right.
million dollar properties even. That's not even a
They're,
possibility. You know what I mean?
yeah. 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 No, I get that for sure. Yeah. I guess it all depends where you are. But yeah, LA, they're kind of all over. Aspen, I was just in Aspen speaking, and they were saying the average detach is like 16 million, which is
It's
insane.
crazy.
It's so
Aspen
crazy.
and like Breckenridge and like all that stuff
Yeah.
is nuts. I don't
Nuts.
even understand it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I love Aspen. It's beautiful. Also, walking up a flight of stairs there because you're so above sea level, like I was gassed. It was crazy. It was
Yeah, and
crazy.
then the elevation,
Yeah.
like when they go do fights up there, like UFC fights and stuff
Yeah.
up in Denver and stuff, they get gassed a lot quicker. The
Oh, yeah.
elevation's real. Um, no, I think it's cool because I was talking to Jamil, the wholesale guy, and he does this kind of like he has this humorous side to his content. And he was like a failed comedian and stuff. And actually, he made 12 million wholesaling, lost it all in the crash, and then tried to go be a comedian in LA for a while, and then got back into
Oh,
real
wow.
estate. Now he was in Canada somewhere, I think even Toronto, and now he's in Phoenix, and now he's like just massive, has shown A&E and all that stuff. But I was talking to him about like humorous content versus business content, and like most people can only do one or the other. Like I'm not a humorist. My content's not funny. It's more like in your face business, go, get it done kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But like if you can combine humorous and business, it's almost like the broke agent. It's like
Mhm.
all funny. It's like if you can combine the business side, which I think they're trying. Are you still a part of that?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Are
still
you
part of
like
it.
on the
Like,
Overask podcast, or are you part of BAM Media, or what's your
yeah.
role with that?
Overas podcast is like my
Mm,
main thing. Like the owners are Eric and Byron for BAM, like the BAM stuff. And I
mm,
do what I can for them. I love it. And I'm speaking at the BAM camp uh September 20th in Naples. So stuff like that. But the actual owners would be I'm more of like a creative director kind of
mm.
role. Like I'll pitch content, I'll make content for them, stuff like that. Yeah, but that's like a whole new thing. Eric totally branched out from just being funny to, you know,
Mm-hmm.
building like a media company at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's smart because now he's using the influence of all the funny stuff, which is massive, and then
Yeah.
applying it to some kind of business. Um, I've always thought if I could like get a piece of that humorous type content and like sprinkle it into what I do, it would blow up. So you're doing this content where it's just like funny stuff, and then you do a little real you sprinkle. It's more like the way I see it, you're doing funny stuff and then sprinkling in real estate, and then it's interesting. Now I'm realizing what you're doing. You're using the impressions of all of it and taking that to your sellers as part of your listing presentation, your marketing plan for your listings.
Mhm.
So cool. And it's putting you
Yeah.
like above some of your competitors.
Yeah. And it also, yeah, I mean, sellers, they love seeing those views, that credibility. To some people, it's very important. Not to everybody. If I'm in, 80-year-old's house, they're not going to give a shit about how many views I get on social media. So, there's a time and a place. But I'm attracting certain type of people. Um, and I think just I'm really focusing on listing videos and how can I make them creative and funny, because I'm really seeing them as commercials now. Like I see listings as like the Super Bowl of our industry. And I don't understand why people don't try and capitalize even if you spend too much, sometimes you can leverage that into five more deals. You could
Mm,
double end that. You know what I mean? It's like listings are the name of the game. We've heard that forever, but I've really started thinking about that. So now I just had a listing in a condo, and it was just a small condo. It ended up selling for 595,000. And it was a first time buyer market. I knew the demo there was like young, kind of my age, 30s. So I wanted to do something that would kind of hit with that market. So I ended up recreating uh, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, the game, like the menu and stuff like that. And I did this whole video and this whole campaign. Got some press behind it. And there were 6 units in that building, including ours. Some have been listed for over 60 days. Bigger ones for lower price than what we got. None of them can sell. We came in with that. We got 55,000 views on that video, and sold it in 6 days. And it's not. I always tell people it's not about. Well, people tell me, they go, it's not about you. It's about the listing. But it can actually be about both if you do it the right way. I'm not showing off my fancy car and I'm doing something to kind of create that nostalgia for a certain group of people in this case. And it's was about the listing first, but it also, my face was there. So now I can leverage that moving forward. And now I've gotten calls off that for other units in the building. And that's how it goes, right? And that video didn't cost a lot, didn't take a lot of time, but it was extremely successful for my sellers, and now for me, as I can leverage off and branch off into what comes of that. So I think people really need to focus on, okay, get the listing, but once you get the listing, what are you doing to just blow people's mind with that listing?
mm. I saw that video now that you mention it. I remember that happening like last week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a week ago.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play it for everybody right now that's watching. Um, so like for somebody who doesn't do content at all, right? Or somebody that's like, man, I wish I could, sell real estate, making content or whatever. Like, walk me through this process, right? Um, you get the listing, you're like, oh, I'm gonna do a video on it. Come up with this Tony Hawk, like different character, video and stuff. You make the video, but then how does that translate into sales? How does that translate into, business?
Yeah. So it doesn't always. Sometimes it's just views, and which is still good because people see if you sell it. And here's the thing: if you're doing a video like this, like you better sell it because you're really putting yourself out there. You're skateboarding, or like you better sell the house. So you better like think this is a good idea. But the first thing I do is like I try and match something about the house to the video or to the demo. So in this case, I knew it was a certain demo, and I did the video that I knew I would hit that nostalgia with. And people love nostalgia, especially it's so stressful right now, and there's so much shit going on. If you can just like bring someone back to a simpler time, that was what I was trying to do with this video. So that's the first thing. And that could come from the street name, something in the house that's interesting. I mean, I do a lot of videos where I just walk around and I'll talk to like my partner Anna, and just we'll be talking about the house, and something like a sentence or a word, and something will come up from that. So I mean, sometimes you'll just get a lot of views and that's fine. Sometimes you'll get people who see the video first. In this case, we had a lot of people messaging me on Instagram because they saw the video asking,
Mm,
oh, is, you know, what's this? What's this? Booking appointments, things like that. But at the end of the day, it's just about getting eyeballs and getting people in the door.
mm,
There was one unit in the building out of the six. They came out on the exact same day as us, and it was essentially the same unit. They ended up getting 13 showings and no offers on their offer night.
okay.
We got 45 showings and four offers on our offer night. So
Mm.
there's a big difference in what we are doing in terms of marketing and just like eyeballs and buzz. Because like I said, with these videos, we're getting press around these videos too. Like we're really like doing everything we can, and this is not even a luxury this is a $600,000 property that we're doing this on, and people are seeing that you're getting this type of marketing and this type of campaign at this price point. Normally, you only see that on 3, 4, $5 million price points. But we're
Mm.
trying to do it across the board, and yeah, sometimes you're not making the most money, but it does pay dividends down the road.
So you think the increase from 13 showings on the other listing to 45 on your listing was purely off of this video?
I think it's hard to say exactly, but I that was the only thing that was different. It was the same unit. They were both staged. They both had uh, professional photography, but we had 55,000 views on our Instagram video, and these guys didn't have an Instagram video.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I can't say for sure, but that was the only difference. It's the exact
Yeah.
same building, the same. So,
It's crazy that like if there's two units for sale exactly the same that go up for sale in the same time, right?
mhm,
Um, and you get four offers on this one. I mean, did one of the three buyers that lost out on this one go buy the other one?
I don't think so. It's still for sale.
I mean, that's what I can't wrap my head around.
Yeah.
Like what is the deal? I mean, was it a lesser view? Was it a some kind of
It could have
unicorn?
been. Yeah, I didn't like it could have been a less view. It was a bit of a different layout. Maybe people didn't like the layout as much. What I
Okay.
found so shocking was the drastic change in showings, not even the offers. Normally, if I'm showing one unit, even if my clients don't, I'd say let's just go see it. You never know. I'd show the other one. But he called me on our offer night and he said, "Matt, I have no offers. Do you got anything?" And I was like, "Yeah, we have four." And I was like, "How many show?" Because I asked him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I found so weird is like, why wouldn't you at least go? Even if my video brought the attention to the
Yeah.
building, it should have it should have given some to the other, but I don't know what it was.
You never know, man. I mean, straight real estate's one of those weird
It could have
things.
smelled like smoke, could have smelled
Yeah.
like weed. Like I don't
Yeah.
know, and could have got around. I don't know, but from kind of on paper, that's the only explanation was we had that Instagram video and they didn't.
Yeah.
So and you know what? I'm gonna run with that. That's the only thing I can see different.
So when you say that listings are the Super Bowl of real estate and like agents should be like taking advantage of these opportunities to expand these listings into more deals, what is the extent, what is everything that they can do to maximize those opportunities?
Yeah, I think it's just a bit more than like everyone's going to go into a listing and say, yeah, we're going to do professional photography and home staging. It's like, okay, but what else? What
Mm-hmm.
else? And it doesn't have to be a funny video, but like, how can you do something that's like a little different? Um, you're seeing a lot of those kind of walkthrough videos now. They're just iPhones walking through with a trending song, even things
Yeah.
like that. Something that's just like,
Mm-hmm.
because some of those blow up on
Some of
TikTok if
those
you have the right home.
blow up.
Yeah. And it's like that's a pretty easy thing to do that doesn't
Mm-hmm.
cost you anything. Why not try? Shoot your
Mm-hmm.
shot. And then if
Mm-hmm.
as when you get one, you can use that for a lifetime. Oh, check out this listing got 15 million views.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's now a good sell. It's
Yeah, I
not
mean, even if you had one of those videos pop off, then you could say, I got 150,000 views or 500,000 views on this one video for this listing I got over here.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's all you need. Even like the way you're doing even just photography. So we have this property for just under 4 million right now. Super super cool property. And we decided on top of our listing photos, we were going to do kind of a lifestyle architectural digest shoot of Anna and I in the listing. So we're just kind of posing in the listing, looking cool or however we want to look, but the listing's there. And it was just
Mm-hmm.
an extra little 2 hours. And it's just something else to look at. You know, when you see on Instagram, when you follow a bunch of realtors, you just see listing photo, and then, oh, what's this? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's a cool
Mm-hmm.
photo. And then, oh, it's in this house that's for sale. On top of that, we had my friend Matt Barnes. He's a celebrity photographer. He's done shoots for Jeff Goldblum and Ariana Grande and Drake and stuff like that. So we got him in to add another little, just another little step up. And it's things
Mm-hmm.
like that that kind of word of mouth it spreads. Like no one's doing that. No one's getting a celebrity photographer to take a shoot of you. And again, it's about the listing, but it's also about us. And it's helping the listing and it's helping us. There's it could be true for both. So many people, that's one of the objections I get all the time from other agents. Oh, you're making it about you. Well, you kind of have to,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
as long as you're not jeopardizing the house and the seller, I'm always
Mm-hmm.
making sure that is getting shown in the best light possible.
Mm-hmm.
But it's okay for you to want to be seen in that light as well.
Yeah. How do you split your time up between like the actual business, talking to buyers and sellers, showing property, going to listing appointments, following up, prospecting, whatever, and making content, right? You just said it's just 2 hours, right? 2 hours is a lot, for a video, for a lot of agents who are just out there grinding away, busy and stuff like that. A lot of the objections for real estate agents is like, I don't have all this time to be a content creator and be a real estate agent. Do you feel like you're a content creator, like a full-time content creator and a real estate agent on the side? Do you feel like, map this out for me? Like, how do you make all this to work where you are a content creator and you're like super successful real estate agent still in production?
Yeah. It's a lot easier now that I've teamed up with Anna. We have an assistant. So we can be two places at once now, Anna and I. And like I said, she's come from a more traditional path. So it's a lot easier now. But before that, I think early on, I saw the ROI on the 2 hours spent doing the video. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what people can't wrap their head around. A lot of people see it as, oh, that's just a goofy video and that's not going to do anything. But once you
Mm-hmm.
see the ROI, that 2 hours doesn't seem so long anymore.
Yeah.
Um, and what I always say is, you know, I I know a lot of people. I know you were a big cold caller, right? Cold
Mm-hmm.
call, door knock, stuff like that. I know a lot of people who crush it that way. I could never pop off doing it. I used to spend 5, 6 hours a day cold calling, and it would seem like I think got, I would do that. I probably did that for a year, and I think I got one listing out of it. So I
Mm-hmm.
knew then, like, I tried it for a long time, and not to say I couldn't have adjusted some things and gotten better, but I just fucking hated doing it
Yeah.
so much that it was just like completely draining me. So when I started doing the content, I started getting these views, even 50,000 views, 100,000 views. I was thinking, okay, go knock on 100,000 doors. Tell me how long that takes. Because
Mm-hmm.
this 100,000 views coming in 24 hours, it's not the same. You knock on, 100 doors. What are you going to get? Maybe 10 people answer, 20 people answer. I don't even know anymore. But, it's like
I've never knocked a single door.
never. You're all cold call.
Never. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, why would I? I can sit in the air condition and
Yeah,
just
it's
call
true.
person after person after person. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. So, but that was my mentality now. It's like, okay, maybe we're not having that conversation, but I'm being seen by them. And if you do like to door knock or cold call or do something that's more traditional, because it does work. We all know it works. We've seen it. But like, why not add that extra like to your business where you bring in the social media? So now maybe you call someone or you door knock someone in an area you're farming. Then on top of that, you start doing some targeted social ads in that area. So you call
Mm-hmm.
them, hey, I'm Matt Lionetti. They hang up the phone on, no, we're good right now. Thanks. We'll call you. We'll let you know. Hang up the phone. They go on Instagram and then or Facebook, and now your ads there again. It's like, oh, isn't that guy I just talked to? And if you
Mm-hmm.
really want to go, door knock them a month later. That's what I think. Like, I know people who kind of cold call 1 month, door knock the next, cold call one door in an area that they're farming. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
constant, and it kind of seems less invasive and less like, I don't know, because you're switching it up. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not like, oh, this guy just keeps calling me. It's like, oh, he came
Yeah.
and he brought this. And so I just think there's like a lot of ways to go about it and add social media as
Mm-hmm.
an asset instead of just like, I've never said, stop doing everything and just do social media. That's not
Mm-hmm.
what I'm preaching at all. For me, that's mostly what I do now. Because like I said, I've kind of seen the thing that works for me and I've kind of ran with it. But there's absolutely ways to just add it into what you're already doing to make you more successful. I know a lot of people on YouTube, they have 5,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers, which is a lot, but it's not like crazy to
Yeah.
think, you could get there, and they're making an extra 500-600 grand gross a year from
Yeah.
just that, from just putting out a video. And then that's just on repeat. That's
Mm-hmm.
just a clone of yourself on the internet forever now, working while you're asleep.
Yeah. Yeah. I know a guy with 1,000 subs and he gets like 2 deals a week off of it for like the last 3 or 4 years.
Crazy.
He's not trying to increase his subs. I had him on, he was on something I forget what it was, IG Live or something. And I was like, everybody go follow this guy. And he's like, no, 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 no. Do not tell people, please guys, do not follow me. Do not sub to my
Yeah.
channel, because he's like, if real estate agents sub to the channel, then they're going to think that my channel is for agents, and I
Yeah.
want my channel to be for my clients and blah, blah, blah. He like, but he makes a killing off of it, but
Yeah.
it's all buyers. He doesn't
Yeah.
really like 95% of his buyers that run him around. So, back to what you said, we all know listings are kind of the king of it all. You're using it to actually get listings. You're using it like to play against your listings, to get more listings, to show sellers impressions, to double end your own deals. That's a whole different, like, that's doing it right, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I always say to make your calls all morning and do social media all afternoon. Like, that's just the recipe for complete domination. And even if you're not cold calling, you got to call somebody, the leads that you're getting off of social media or whatever.
Yeah.
um you got to be on the phone. But I love to see agents being successful with content. I see it going one of two ways most of the time. It's like they do it, it doesn't work, and they're discouraged, or they do it and it works and they just get 99% buyers and they get ran around town and they lose their mind. And then there's the 1% that does it right, which is how you do it, which is focusing around listings.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you did make calls for a while. You
Yeah.
got
I door
one
knocked,
list.
called. Yeah. I got
Mm-hmm.
one listing from the call.
You got one
I
listing
did
that
all the
one.
traditional stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Also early on, I realized as I was doing the calls and as I was doing the door knocking, I started on a team. So they would always tell me, like, do these things and you have to do them long. You can't do something for a week and say it doesn't work. So I knew it was a long-term game, like everything in this business is. But I was trying to track, okay, where am I? This is before social. Like, where am I getting most of my success? And I found out most of my success was coming from open houses.
Okay.
And I realized because I don't like feeling invasive, like
Yeah.
I'm bugging somebody. So I
Mm-hmm.
like when people come to me. So then when I switched, I was like, okay, well, these videos I can make people come to me. I'm not in their face. I'm not telling them to do anything. I'm not on their property. I can make a video and they can watch it if they want. They can engage if they want. And I just felt more comfortable when I put myself in that mindset, because a lot of it's mindset as well. I was already losing making the call feeling like I was bugging someone. You're never
Mm-hmm.
going to succeed, doing that, knocking on a door feeling like you're ruining their day.
Yeah.
As soon as I flipped on that mindset, I knew, okay, I can get people to come to me and engage with me, and I just kind of take little things I always talk about wearing a lot of band t-shirts. I love music. And I feel like you can relate with people, especially in the world, this world now where everything's electronic and AI. I think people really do want to still have that human connection and relate. So when I wear a t-shirt in a video, like people message me a lot, like, I love that band, I love your shirt, and that's enough. That's a connection, and now I consider that a lead.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm just talking to them. So now I know, oh, you love Motley Crue. Great. A week goes by, we don't talk. I send them a video of like some Motley Crue thing I see on Instagram. And we just keep talking like that. It's
Mm-hmm.
organic because I love talking about it as well. And if you're marketing yourself well enough, they know you're in real estate. You don't have to shove that down their throat ever. They
Mm-hmm.
know who they're talking to. So
Yeah.
now you just kind of, chop away, and but it's organic. It doesn't even feel like I'm working or doing follow up. I genuinely want to make a connection with this person and talk about music at that time. And then, it's happened a lot. 6 months down the road, 9 months down the road, a year. Oh, hey Matt, like we're actually thinking about selling now. Or, my cousin's thinking about doing this. And it just happens organically like that.
So you're just going back and forth in the DMs with them?
I do a lot of DMs. I'm very
Mm.
not traditional. Like,
Do you like put them in the separate folder or whatever, and you try to like organize it in a way
yeah, I
where it's
try and
like, okay,
organize it as much
mm-hmm.
as I can. I just think for my style, the less formal, the better.
Yeah.
Um, I
Do
think it's
you
just
try to collect other information like email address? Do you do email marketing at all?
no, no, no. I don't do email marketing, which is one thing I do want to get into. I don't collect emails. I get phone numbers,
Mm-hmm.
and then once we kind of have that I'll take it from a DM to a text to a call, that
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't really focus on emails, which I know is I think if I do start doing that, that's a whole other aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because other people in my office and Anna and stuff, they do that. So we're
Mm-hmm.
trying to blend some of the stuff right now because it's still a new partnership. It's trying to blend like some of the best stuff, she's like her greatest hits and my greatest hits, and making this
Yeah.
perfect kind of storm. No, but it's very not traditional, and it's kind of like some people would look at it and think it's like chaos, but it's
Mm-hmm.
exactly how I want it and how I can make it work. That's
Yeah.
another thing, like we hear about these CRMs and all that. Like, that's all great for the right person.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a one size fits all anywhere.
I've
Not
never had a
everyone's,
CRM. I've never used
yeah.
one.
Well, yeah, there you go. And look
Yeah.
at you. Like, and that's like what people need to understand.
So do you even know how big your database is?
No,
Yeah.
no, wouldn't be able to put a number
See,
on it.
that's how the cold calls worked for me because I would call and just make friends with them. And
Hmm.
then I would collect their email and do a weekly email, and it snowballed. Like it
Yeah.
just snowballed. And no one I ever talked to ever forgot who I was. And that's how, because a lot of people look at cold calls and they're like, well, this video lasts forever online. A cold call, you call them one. It's like, no, that's the beginning of a relationship that then lasts forever through scalable processes of a weekly email that you spend just 15 minutes a week, and you can send it to 500 or 50,000. It still only takes 15 minutes, and you can scale. Continue to do social media and sprinkle that on top of the weekly email, then it really blows up. But yeah. That's interesting that you, but everybody has to figure out what works for them, what
Yeah.
their processes are that they feel comfortable with.
I mean, I'm sure I could figure it out, but I know
Yeah.
some people who literally are like, I have this many people in my database. And
Mm-hmm.
I almost find sometimes people work so hard in the wrong places. Like they're over organized, or
Yeah.
they brag about writing the perfect offer. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, that's fine. But like, don't you think there's other places you can be spending that time?
Yeah.
Where like, yeah, right now on the top of my head, I don't know how many people are in my database,
Mm-hmm.
but I could still figure it out. It's not something that's like,
Well, for
you
you,
know,
you just don't need it because you've got your people that you're following up with, and you're comfortable with your process. You're where you want to be production wise, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
there's always room to grow for sure. Um, and I want to just keep growing and keep seeing where this can go. But I just have always found it so interesting, like, that you can just have success in so many different ways. And it's just like for so long it seemed like you could, like when I got into the business, I was like, well, what do I do? And they're like, well, you got a door knock.
When did you get in the business?
2016, October 1st, 2016.
Yeah. Well, I mean, by then social media was big, and we had auto dialers and all kinds of things. I got in 02, and literally, bro, there was only door knocking, phone calls, postcards, like email,
Yeah.
like this stuff didn't exist. Uh,
But
there was no apps.
you didn't have the did you have you didn't have
It
the book?
it was right after that. When I got in, it
Okay.
was right when MLS started, and all the agents in the office talked about, and some of them still used that book that went out every
Oh,
month and
really?
stuff. Yeah, they were still using it. That's how new MLS was right when I got in
Yeah.
my area. So I missed that
Wow.
era, but you know,
So I got in Canada. There was DocuSign was just rolling out,
mhm.
and so
Which
I
was a
was still
game changer, bro. That
game
was like
changer.
I was faxing stuff back and forth. It was shrinking it down to nothing by the time
Yeah,
it got back everywhere. And then like I had to drive and like get people to sign stuff in person.
it's crazy.
Hmm.
I know it's crazy to think of how far. It's crazy to think how far, um, technology wise, the world's come in even the last 10 years compared to everything prior to the last
Hmm.
10 years.
Hmm.
Like how much shit has happened. You
Hmm.
know,
Yeah.
it's just like crazy.
And everybody like the industry goes through these stages where people think agents are going to go away with
Mm-hmm.
all the new technology and stuff. And like every wave of technology has not only solidified our existence, but made it easier for us to sell more in less time.
Yeah.
People thought Zillow was going to take us out, or for sellbanner.com when it came out in the early 2000s, it was like it's
Yeah.
over, for y'all.
Yeah.
It just made it
Yeah.
easier for
Do
us
you
to
think
call for sale by owners,
100%? Do you think it's going to get to a point where AI is going to be able to mimic your voice and have a conversation with someone
Yeah,
when it's not even you?
I
You know?
think so. I think so. I don't think we'll want to do that.
No.
I think it'll have the capability, but I think AI is kind of it's good to make suggestions, but I don't think the judgment is there. I
Yeah.
don't think it'll ever be there. I think it's
Yeah.
a
I agree.
good suggestion, uh, you know,
Yeah.
something that creates
Can
great
kind of,
suggestions.
yeah, can get you
Mhm.
started on the right path, but you have to still, yeah, I get that.
Just like, I mean, so for sale by owner came along, boom, right? Zillow came along. Zillow made my life a million times easier. All my buyers, they find the properties they want to see and then
Yeah.
just send me a list. Whereas I used to have to look them all up and like send them a list and go back and forth, and like
Yeah.
that that cut so many hours out of the process for me. It was just a godsend. And then DocuSign, and then like people like Amazon linked up with somebody, they were getting into real estate. That
Yeah.
went away quickly. And NFTs, people are like, blockchain's gonna
Oh
replace
my
you. It's like,
gosh.
what? How in the like all right, it's only going to
Yeah.
make stuff easier. Now AI, now people are like, AI is going to take you guys out, and it's like, no, it's not. It's going to create a situation where I can now sell 200 properties a year instead of 100 is what it's
Hmm.
going to do.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things happening right now, man. This lawsuit on buyer agent commissions,
Yeah.
like that has the that has the potential to shake things up. You've got AI that's really advancing super quickly. So the next like 6 to 12 to 18 months are going to be interesting.
Hmm. I agree. It's just, and then on top of that, like there's so many, like all over TikTok and social media, you see like people, so many people despise agents because they just feel
Hmm.
like
They don't
we're not,
know.
they don't know.
They're
And it's hard to,
uneducated.
and I see the agents who go in the comments and try and, oh, well, we do this. It's like, that's the wrong move too.
Hmm.
Those people don't want to know. They never want to know.
The move is wait till they try to do a deal on their own.
Yeah. Yeah. And
they'll
and get
really
sued.
they'll really quickly call an agent
I
and
agree.
say, "Please help me."
Yeah. I just think, and this is a reason why I started doing all this content too. It's just like I saw all the things. A lot of times people ask me about like role models, who was someone who inspired you in the industry. And I have that, but there's also like things you see, and it's also like negative role models that help you. So I would
Okay.
see people that I didn't want to be like, and I so desperately did not want to be, and they
Okay.
help push me forward even further.
Of what
Um,
not to do.
of what not to do. Not that like, I always bring back, it's the easiest example of like the shoes and the car and the watch and the suits. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't think I just don't think it's relatable for most people.
I hate it
Yeah.
myself. I don't have any. I mean, I have a nice house and stuff and I have a Tesla or whatever, but like I don't have Lamborghinis, I don't have a single watch. I just
I'm a
don't
watch
care.
guy, but I don't show it off.
I just don't care about that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, man. It just doesn't I just have zero interest in it. Okay, so crushing it in real estate, you know, now you're also becoming like this agent influencer, like this building this brand in the real estate agent community, right? Is
Mhm.
that and I don't know what businesses you have on the back end or if you're making money on that side or what your thing is, but is that to continue the mission to sell more real estate, or is that a play to eventually use that to pivot out of production, or like what's your vision with this whole thing?
Yeah. It's always been a passion of mine to kind of share my story and speak. And if I could ever come of a place that could be helpful to other people, I'd love to have the platform to do that. I'm starting to get there now, um, which I'm super grateful for. I do make money doing it, and I love doing it. I really love doing it. It does help. I wouldn't say gets any, like, I don't know if it gets business, but it certainly like raises eyebrows, starts conversations. Clients, potential clients, past clients will see me speaking wherever and
Uh-huh.
be like, "Oh, that's really cool. I'm so happy for you." Like things like that. So I
Mm,
think it just adds in another like bit of credibility. Like, well, this guy's also speaking on what he's telling us, and
mm,
um, I think eventually, yeah, I'd want to be out of production and doing more of this side of things, content.
mm.
I You were saying content creator, real estate second. Um, I see myself more as just a marketer. Like I
Okay.
just love marketing. I
Yeah.
love finding that way to market and position a property where it just kind of blows up and people fall in. Like I love finding the story
Mm-hmm.
in a property. And I really think that stories do sell.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at least for me. And I always just try and think of like what I want to see, because that's all I can really go off at the end of the day. And I love a great business with a great story.
Yeah.
Um, there's this new place I just got onto. They're called Buck Mason. They make these really nice t-shirts. And I was gonna go buy one online, but then the shipping to Canada was like $100. I was like, what the I'm not paying $100 shipping for one t-shirt. And then like I left the site and I got this email and it said, "Hey, we're Buck Mason. We started in our garage," and they told me their whole story. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you know what? I love that. So I went and I
Mm-hmm.
bought like 5 t-shirts and paid the $100 shipping,
Yeah.
because the story sold me,
Yeah.
and that's what excites me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's what I want to like speak on more and more when I go around doing these things. And like I said, yeah, get out of production, but I do, I'm in production still because I still feel like I have a lot to give. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think I'm half-assing in any place yet. As soon as
Yeah.
maybe I feel like I'm spreading
You
too
still love
thin,
it.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I do love it. And when I feel like I'm spreading thin and not doing the best by my clients is maybe when I'll be like, okay, maybe I should just start focusing more on this. But
Yeah.
at this point, I think it's the perfect balance for me.
Mm,
Because also what I love about it is how different it is.
mm,
One week I'm selling real estate and just grinding that way. Then the
mm.
next week I'm off flying somewhere speaking. And it's just like, I don't like doing the same thing and being redundant.
Yeah.
I like always having that like change. So right now it's a really great mix for me. I don't know exactly when or it will make that switch, but I feel like I can still do the very best job by my clients. And that at the end of the day is all that matters.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, that's like you just spelled out exactly what happened to me. I did it well, probably way past the point I should have, but literally at the end, I was cringing, bro, when like clients were calling me. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, this is it. I got to figure out how to step out of this. Like, I was just like, I just want to just create content and coach and do training sessions and stuff like that. And I felt like it was starting to dig into what I really wanted to do. And I was like, I'm out of here. So my dad handles the day to day, like listings and sales, which is beautiful. Um, and does an amazing job. And so he handles all the day to day, and it allows me to do this side of it. And
Yeah.
so that's cool, man.
Yeah.
So shoot, bro, we've been going for a minute here. Um, I had some more questions, but I just got so caught up in everything you were saying, man. I kind of forgot what they were.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. No, we're
yeah,
similar in a lot of ways. It's funny. We're very different, but very similar in a lot of ways.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, it's been cool just seeing everything you're doing too. Um, yeah, it's super cool. I mean, I've respected you for a long time, and you're one of the like, I think I see it as like top tier kind of leaders in this industry, and I put you in that same kind of categories like the Ryan Serhants and stuff like that as kind of people really changing the game, and I'm trying to get to that place as well. So, yeah, it's cool to be on here.
I appreciate that. And speaking of Ryan, he's kind of like it's kind of like the modern agent, right?
Yeah,
It's kind of like, okay, you're on TV and you're building, you're making social and you're selling, multi-million dollar properties. And now we're starting to see other agents kind of start to do the same thing, like yourself. You're traveling, you're speaking, you're making content. Who knows? Maybe you'll have a be on a TV show at some point or something. I'm making content. I was selling and making content for years before I got out of production. And we're starting to see other agents kind of fall in line and start down that same path where it's almost like becoming a real estate agent influencer is almost becoming like one of the paths to being a great agent and building a big name
yeah.
um and parlaying that into other things.
I think he was one of the first to kind of make real estate agents cool.
Yeah.
No one got out of college and wanted to become a real estate agent. No, it was always someone's like backup plan, for the most part. Certainly was mine. I didn't
Yeah.
think, but now it's like people are getting out of high school, college, and wanting to get into real estate, which is
Uh-huh.
awesome. Um, it's just like I still don't think they see it. I think even more so they don't see how much work it really is because of
Mm-hmm.
the social and
Mm.
it looks one way. And I try and share stories and stuff that kind of really shed a light on what actually happens in this business, um, just for fun. And sometimes people take it way too serious, and those just are my people. They don't pick up on the sarcasm, and I
Yeah.
don't know. It is what it is.
When you do those videos where, you're really kind of just making fun of the industry in a certain way,
Yeah.
um your clients, do they see those? What's their feedback on that kind of content?
Yeah, they see them. At this point, and
They just think you're being just this funny guy online and
it's
getting a
just
lot of
is
views
me.
and
Yeah, it
yeah.
just is me at this point. They understand what I do and who I am in the industry. And it's just part of, those are just little pepper pieces, I call them. You pepper them in to stay top of mind,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
keep the engagement up.
And they
It's
get a lot
fun.
of engagement.
Yeah, some of my highest engaging ones are those little car rants. Um, and a lot of
Yeah.
times my clients agree. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I was talking with Eric, the broke agent, and he was saying, you know, I don't know if it's still this number, but 85% of agents get out of the industry in the first 5 years.
Yeah.
So most likely these, clients have gotten a horrible agent in the past. If
Mhm.
only 15% of them are making it past 5 years, right? So it was a weird kind of perspective of looking at things. So, yeah, a lot of my clients have had horrible situations they've been in with real estate agents in the past.
Mhm.
So they kind of, I don't know, it just depends how you want to look at it. If you want to take it like serious, like some people will try and, oh well, no, like they'll try and get like super strategic and like, oh, you actually said this wrong. I said something about a fiduciary duty one time, and then someone commented like the actual meaning of fiduciary. And I was like, all right, man, I'm just trying to mess around here. Some people take it too serious, but it just is what it is. Just peppers it in, keeps the views
Yeah.
up. I enjoy doing it. Um, and I think what gets people so mad is the truth behind it, because there's a lot of
Mm.
truth to, even though it's, I'm kind of poking fun at it. I think what makes it um, engaging and why people actually want to see it is because there is people understand that I understand what I'm talking about. Even though I'm making a joke of it,
Mhm.
they can tell that I've been through it,
Yeah.
because you don't know those certain situations unless you've been through it.
Mhm.
Um, and I just love that relatable kind of content, like funny because it's true type of humor.
Yeah, and it's super transparent to who you are.
Yeah.
So your clients are seeing the real, you're not like hiding. You're not like trying to be somebody you're not. This is who you are. You're saying funny stuff because it's true.
Yeah.
And like you make that content for the people that love it, right? You
Hmm.
cannot make it for the people that don't want it, or you can make it for the people who love it. That's why I tell
Yeah.
people about like email and content and making videos. They're like, well. I'm like, but there's all these people that want to see that stuff. And if you don't make it because you're worried about the people who don't want to see it, then you're taking that away from the people that want to see it.
Hmm.
You're catering to the people that don't want it, that doesn't matter to you,
Yeah.
instead of catering to the people that want to see you on video. They
Yeah.
want to see your content. They want to see your emails. No,
Yeah.
it's and that's
It's
probably why 85% of agents don't make it.
Yeah, seriously. I know people cater to and it's, I get it. Like, I'll get 300 comments of all awesome, funny, everyone loves it, and then one comment of someone who doesn't like it. I'm like, why, why didn't they?
Which
And then I
which
think
ones are
about
you
them
more
a little
prone
bit.
to answer? When
I
you see
answer
a
as much.
negative
Well,
one,
I want it sometimes, depending on the day, I'll
sometimes
go
man,
for
when
it.
somebody like says something like hating on a comment, I'm like, I don't know why, but I'm like, like I want to
Yeah, I
say
know.
something to them over the people that I
Hmm.
should be answering their comments, the
Yeah,
people that loved my content. I'm like, why do I do
I know.
this?
I know. Well, why do you do it to yourself? And those people are just like, you have to remember at the end of the day, like, if you're commenting something negative on some
Mm.
random person's page, like there's something going on in their life, and I wish them the best. But like this, it's not. And then it's just like, but it sits with you. Sometimes they'll say something, just sits with you, and you're just like,
Hmm.
oh fuck.
I know. I know. You gotta you
It's
gotta get
weird.
you gotta be numb to that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, you'll always kind of have, you can't win them all. So there's going to be
Hmm.
days where you're going to see something. It's just going to extra piss you off for whatever reason.
But you know what? It helps your content.
Yeah,
All the extra
absolutely.
comments and back and forth and all that, it boosts
Oh
it for
yeah.
you.
I do things to kind of like, I do so my wife does a lot of the voiceovers, and she says realtor instead of realtor,
Yeah, that
and people
pisses
hate when
people
you say,
off, dude.
oh. So I tell, she goes, oh, do you want me to say realtor? I'm like, no, 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 say realtor, because I'm gonna get 50 comments of people saying how you pronounced it wrong. And
Uh-huh.
that just helps, you know?
Yeah.
And I also talk really, really fast so people can't understand, so they have to watch the video again.
So what's your outlook for the future, man? Like, do you have a dream scenario or like an overall goal, like a 5-year goal, or what you want your life to look like? Like what are you doing this for?
It's all, and I guess it's kind of cliche, but it's all just for my family. I want to, so my wife, she's been with me for, we're high school sweethearts. So she's seen me through, like, I got kicked out of high school, went touring. I had no money. So, I just want to, like, she was there for everything. So that's my main, just give everything to her.
Mhm.
I want to eventually build my own place, and I just want to be like, I don't know, I want people to look back on like the content I'm doing and just be like, he was just like a good dude at the
Yeah.
end of the day. I'm just trying
Yeah.
to help people, whether it's buyers or sellers or other agents. I think very much like yourself. Like, I just want to help. If I can like make some money while I'm doing it, that's awesome. And just like, we're at a point now where I'm super grateful. Like, we can kind of do a lot of things we've always wanted to do and not really think of it anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
we want to go on that vacation, we can go on that vacation. We can, if I want that new thing, we can buy that new thing within reason.
Mhm.
So like,
Yeah.
we're kind of at that point. I just want to keep going a lot more of that. Just help
Yeah.
people and just like, I don't know. There's just so much smoke and mirrors in the world, and especially in this business. I don't want to be caught up in that. I just want people to look at me and be like, yeah, he works hard for what he does. He's not
Yeah.
flashy, not doing any of this bullshit. He's just like head down, working hard. And that's just, I don't know.
D
I want to speak a lot more. I want to
Mhm.
speak. I think that's, and just like, I want to really create content for a living eventually,
Okay.
like you're doing, is
Do
probably
you
like my goal.
are you addicted to, is this like a hobby for you now? Or do you feel like this isn't like a job anymore? This is like a hobby.
It's so much fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels like it. I just love the rush
Yeah.
of like thinking of something, thinking of an idea. Like that Tony Hawk video I thought of like 2 days before I filmed it.
Yeah, how did you come up
And
with that? I saw that and I was like, "Okay, okay." Like, how did you come up with that one?
I just was
Just
like, it was just, I walked through the unit and it was like an industrial unit. There was cement floors, cement walls. And the first thing I thought of was like the warehouse or whatever in the Tony Hawk, I think Pro Skater 2. And I was like, oh, that's funny. And then I was like, what if I can do? And then I just go down these like rabbit holes.
Mhm.
And it's just like that rush of like, oh, and then I can do this, and then I can do this. And my wife, who's been, forever, I'll tell her all the ideas, and she's like my greatest critic. She'll just be like, nah, it's not there yet. Nah, it's not. Or she'll be like, yeah, it's funny, but she'll never actually laugh at anything.
Mhm.
Um, Actually, all the Eminem videos. I don't know if you've seen any of the Eminem videos,
Yeah,
but
I saw
that
him.
all that all stemmed from her telling me I couldn't rap, and I
Uh-huh.
was like, well, just hold on, just watch it. I just so sometimes it's a challenge. Sometimes it's just like I love it. I love thinking of
Mhm.
these things as commercials and being like the
Mhm.
marketing
Yeah.
director or whatever. So it's
Yeah.
just cool. I have a lot of content coming for some other places in a couple months probably, that are not even, it's not even funny content. It's more heartfelt content. Um, and I just love it. I love like throwing in those curveballs sometimes. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. Like, yeah, I guess it is just like, aha, it doesn't feel like a job. I can go skateboard around and make money for doing it. Like, that's pretty
Mhm.
cool. Not a
You
lot of people can
skateboard to
say
your
that.
listing appointments?
No, I just skateboard in that video. I used to skateboard all the time, but
Yeah.
I lost some of my, I couldn't really do it anymore when I tried. I almost broke my leg.
Yeah. Yeah, getting
Yeah,
old as hell.
I know, 32.
Yeah. I'm
Wake up with
42.
back pains, gray hair.
There was that one viral video, or that viral like trending video where it was the character or whatever, and it was just people basically standing there just like doing
Yeah,
this, acting like a character, and then it had all their traits and
yeah,
stuff. So kind of similar, but I like the way you did it where
similar.
you like changed clothes and like did a different character,
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
each one.
And that's another way to get content ideas is like seeing, don't the when you take the trend exactly how it is, that's fine to go viral. But ask anyone who really, and everyone asks me, how do you go viral? I don't go viral. I'm consistently getting quite a bit of views, but I wouldn't say I'm going viral. I consider viral
Mm-hmm.
like a million views and up, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't get that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Have you ever had a video hit a million?
nope,
Mm.
just consistently, and it might be from the swearing, I don't know. Um, but yeah, no, nothing. I think 400,000 or 500,000 views are my most, but it's
I don't think
consistent.
so. I mean, Gary V cusses, and there's other
True,
people that cuss, and of
true.
course, they have a lot more, way more followers though.
Yeah,
So
so that could be it. I don't know.
yeah,
I mean, but it's consistent. My following's engaged, and
your average views
it's
are
not
really
about.
high though. Your average views.
Yeah,
I mean, you may not
yeah. That's
have
what I
those
mean.
few like on Instagram, I'll get like 10 to 30,000 on average, and then every once in a while I'll get one that hits 200, and then I'll have one that hits a million like every couple months. Um,
Yeah,
but the average is like, 10 to 20,000. Your average is more than that, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's
your
probably
average.
like over 50,
Yeah, 50
and
to
I've
50 to 100.
61. Yeah,
Mhm.
61,000 followers, so it's pretty good. Um, but it's
Well,
all about the
Reels is incredible,
consistency.
right? Reels kind of
Yeah,
like try to be TikTok and like open up this whole new avenue of organic
yeah.
traffic to our profiles.
It's amazing. I love Reels. Um, yeah, but that's what it's about. Like, even if you go viral,
Are you doing TikTok too? Are you putting stuff on
yeah, but not
TikTok?
really. I want to do
Yeah.
different. So I'm doing a shoot uh in a week and a half, and I'm just gonna bulk record a bunch of videos. I'm gonna try some different content because right now I'm just like posting the same shit. I'm gonna
Yeah.
try some different stuff. TikTok, I see for me because it's a lot less followers. I can just try some shit out
Yeah. Yeah.
and just see what hits.
I had
But
an account that went up to 100,000 followers, and somebody, like, I guess some foreign person or whatever, hacked it, like screwed it all
yeah,
up, deleted all the content, da 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 da. And I was like, screw TikTok. I tried to contact them, they wouldn't help me.
yeah,
So I finally made a new account, and I'm just like posting a little bit here and there, like it's, whatever. I'm not even,
yeah, yeah. That's how
yeah,
I am. I just kind of
yeah.
like post wherever. But yeah, like I always tell people, the viral stuff is it doesn't actually do what you think it's gonna do. Like just because you get a million views, it doesn't like your follower count doesn't go up a whole bunch. Like, it doesn't do if you're consistent, that's gonna be a lot better. So don't focus on just like having that one viral video. That's what I'm saying. Like a good way to create content is like looking at trends and maybe not always exactly taking the trend and doing it, but finding a way, like you said, that character thing that went down. I saw that and then I took that and made it my own though with
Hmm.
like the Tony, you know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
and there's a different look and it's like a breath of fresh air. So
Well, I never know which videos I think will do well, do 5,000 views. And then, I have a video that pops off for 200,000 views. And I'm like, where did that come from? So it's just about posting consistently and then letting the algorithm kind of do its thing,
yeah,
you
100%.
know?
No, it happens to me a lot where it's like, oh, this isn't going to do anything. And that's the one that pops off. The video that costs, the listing video that's 2,000, 3,000 bucks to record, gets like whatever your 60, 70,000. Then your car rant that took you 15 seconds gets 400,000. So
Hmm.
just
So
depends.
are you still going to listing appointments and stuff, or how is the team structured with your partner? Like, what are your roles?
Yeah. Yeah. No, we try and go together if we can because we have such different value adds at this
Okay.
point. Yeah. So,
Nice.
yeah. So it's pretty cool because she was like, she is a higher end agent. She's been in the business over 20 years. And like, I'm that new school agent. So, like, just hitting them with so much
And you
kind of
guys are good,
experience.
like good cop, bad cop. Like you don't,
Yeah.
you're not really overwhelming them with like double teaming the
Exactly.
client.
And it's like girl, guy, which is also nice. I don't know what you can say nowadays. But it's nice because like like sometimes someone relates more to Anna or someone relates
Uh,
more to me, and then we can pick up on that.
yeah,
And then like I'll take front seat or she'll take front seat. It
right.
just really works. It makes everyone feel pretty comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's been great since we've actually started going on those appointments together. We can't always go on them
Mm-hmm.
together, but when we are, it's like it's really cool. We're bringing a ton of value to them, and we're just super excited. We're really thinking because we're trying to bring this into the higher end. Like I said, we have that $14 million property, and we did like a funny kind of video for it. Um, and it's cool to bring that kind of style into the higher end because it can work if done properly.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's no doubt. And
Yeah.
then you've got an assistant that's showing the properties.
No, we show them.
Y'all show
We
them
don't have
too.
a buyer's agent yet. Yeah, the
Okay.
assistant's just more for paperwork back
Admin
end.
and stuff. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So we're
Yeah.
still showing them,
Mm-hmm.
but since we've partnered, it's been a lot easier, like I was saying. So when I'm gone speaking, like Anna can take it, or we can
Mm-hmm.
be at two showings at once now, things like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, but yeah, I think a buyer agent would kind of be, we have some people in our office, some newer agents that kind of, but a lot of them, eventually we'll need a true buyer's agent because we can't have someone, showing the $14 million property, things like
That's
that.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
6 months in the business and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's probably the next kind of hire. Um,
Teams are tough.
we don't want a team. That's why like it would probably be a buyer agent, almost like an informal buyer agent,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't think I want anything to do with a team.
Yeah. Teams are rough. I mean,
I've heard.
it's almost like 90% of agents don't make it in the first couple years. 90% of people that try to do teams go right back to being a single agent too. I mean,
But
it's
I believe it.
well, people
Most,
try to do a team because they want to get out of production. So they build the team and then their whole mind is getting out of production. Well, you gotta stay in there with the team for years to get it to the point where you can step out of the team where it's kind of running without you.
yeah,
And I think that's the problem people run into. They're like, I'm going to do a team, and they're still trying to build their business. Well, being a team leader is a whole nother full-time job. So now they
yeah,
got two full-time jobs, a real estate agent and being a team leader. And they didn't
yeah,
realize it was going to be so time consuming. Then you're managing all the agents and paying all these extra fees and dealing with all this stuff. Then the agents quit after you spend so much
yeah,
time with them. And then, just one thing after another.
yeah, yeah. I heard
Um,
you actually make less money in the beginning, at least.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
But then if you can build it like a business and you're a CEO and it's, you're managing people at that point, and if you're that kind of person, that type of personality that can do that kind of thing, then you've got a chance to scale it into something special, but you're still kind of running the business,
right.
like it's a business as opposed to, you know,
Yeah,
buying and selling. I just was like, let me go make a meal. I don't have to pay anybody. I tried to do a
yeah,
team. I had 12 agents over a year and a half come and go. And I was like, this is back in 2012. I was like, no, I'm going to focus on my business. Like this was taken away
yeah,
from my business. And that's when I blew up. I just
right.
focused on my business with my assistant and we just worked as a team to really go crush it. And it's like no expenses, no headaches. I loved selling. So I was
Yeah,
doing what I like to do.
that's interesting. Yeah, because I guess you make a team and you think, okay, this is gonna have so much more time. But a lot of times, people who are making the team, they're probably making up the bulk of the sales at
Yeah.
first, like the team lead. So if they just
Yep.
leave, people want you. They don't want your
Hmm.
team. They want you. And then you have to stay in a couple more years. And then, like you said, you have two jobs now. When you thought you were going to be getting, working less, you're working way
Hmm.
more. You're making
And
less
making less
money.
money,
Yeah.
right? Working more, making less money,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? So,
Yeah.
but it's kind of like being a new agent in the beginning. You're working a lot, making nothing, And so
Yeah.
it can work, but
Yeah.
after you've made so much money as a single agent, and then you try to do that, you're like, Shh, let me just go back to this easy money over here, just
Yeah.
being a single agent. I'll go show the properties for 15,000 or 25,000 or whatever, and I'll just keep the money and then I'll do something else later. That's like the reason I stayed a single agent wasn't because I wasn't growth minded, or that I wasn't business oriented. It was just that I was, I, it was so much easier for me to make a meal on my own and keep all the money. And then I was like, once I get to that point, then I can just become a social media influencer and just take over the world. No,
Yeah.
I never had that plan. I actually planned on just buying, what I actually plan on doing? Just selling forever.
Just
Like
selling
I
real
just thought I
estate.
would be an agent forever until I
Yeah.
got bored, dude. I was just incredibly bored. And I was like, okay, let me go try
I get
something
that.
else. I don't want to do this
Yeah.
forever.
That's so funny because like yeah, that's so funny that you say you didn't do it because you weren't growth minded or anything. I feel like there's so many things put in agents' heads. Like I feel like some people start the team because it's just the natural progression that they feel. Oh
That's
well,
what they're
I got
being taught.
yeah, you're being taught. Same with like $1 million real estate agent or the one thing like the Gary Keller books. They're
Hmm.
fine books, but like feel like people will like talk about those books like they're the Bible.
Hmm.
Like they're the greatest things ever written because
Yep.
someone told them that they are.
Yep.
And it's like I think you need more. You have to have the ones that really succeed, really have their own mind.
Hmm.
You're not
Hmm.
taking anything like you'll take like tidbits
Bits
from
and
everyone, but
pieces.
you have your own
Hmm.
mind and you're strong.
Yep.
And yeah, I noticed that a lot with agents. Like, oh, I'm starting a team. I'm like, why? And they can't tell me why. It's just a natural progression of what you
Yeah.
do in this business.
Yeah. I know so many new team leaders that are like 6, 12 months in, we have calls and they're getting rid of the agents. They're going back to being a single agent. So many of them.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with being a solo agent your entire career.
there's
You don't
not.
need a team.
The thing is build your database up to the point where you don't have to prospect anymore.
Yeah.
Right? And then
Yep.
you're creating content or you're doing emails or whatever to kind of keep the momentum. But then you have all this time on your hands that you used to prospect or used to do this or that to build your business. And now you can take that time and go build other businesses, right? Or spend more time with the family or whatever. That's the natural progression of an
Yeah.
agent that nobody talks about.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
Nobody talks about that side of it. But the $1 million agent book or whatever,
Yeah.
millionaire agent or
Yeah.
whatever it is, I read that thing cover to cover.
Yeah.
I didn't read the one thing because I was like, this is probably a bunch more of the same, after I
Yeah.
read the millionaire real estate agent. But I mean, like his book Shift. I don't know if you ever read that. Did you ever
No, I
read
didn't read
Shift?
shift.
Dude,
No.
you got to read it, man, because if you're a reader, because it really illustrates the market and like how shifts happen and what the progression is of deals and agents leaving the business and like all the ups and downs of like the cycles of real estate industry, and it
Mm-hmm.
helps you visualize as an agent how to take advantage of them, right?
Yeah.
It was so monumental for me because I read it in the middle of the crash when I lost everything. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my gosh, like here it is.
Yeah.
That book is like the Bible to me. Like for right
Yeah.
now, there's some stuff in there from $1 Million
Yeah.
Agent that I don't like at all.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that he illustrates the market shifts and the cycles is really masterful. That's definitely one to look at. But the millionaire real estate agent, man, like I read that thing really searching for like the secret to life, like I was
Yeah.
like,
So was I. Yeah.
and what I got was just such a robotic um approach to the
Mm-hmm.
business. Um, and it was
Yeah.
good because I was like, at that point, I realized that it was about relationships. And then when I read that book, it kind of like solidified what I was already thinking. It was kind of like what you said, like you see people that you don't want to be like. That
Yeah.
that book was perfect for me because it was like, okay, this is how I do not want to build my business,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
and that's why I
Yeah.
continued to read it. After halfway through, I read the rest of it because I was like, I want to know exactly what not to do.
I read it. I read it twice. I was
Hmm.
like, I must be missing something. Like everyone was talking, and but I started. I started. I started at Keller Williams though, so like they
Hmm.
were really like selling you, and I was like,
Yeah.
I think I'm either moron or like
Hmm.
something's going on here. So I read it twice, and then I did read the one thing, which I thought the one thing was actually more digestible than the millionaire real estate agent. On top of not really getting what I wanted from it, was just like
A
hard to
textbook.
read.
It's like a
Yeah.
textbook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
But
We're
they're
gonna
a
have the
great
Keller
company,
Williams
dude,
crew.
and mad props to
They
Gary.
are.
Like Gary's the man,
No, they
dude.
are. And that's the thing. Like you can have opinions on like, just because we didn't like the book doesn't mean we don't like the company or Gary or anything like that. It's like people jump and Eric and I have had a couple conversations where people just jump down your throat. It's like we're allowed to have opinions on everything. Doesn't mean we hate these people.
Hmm.
It's just we don't agree with something they say, and that's fine. We don't have to agree on everything.
Yeah, well, there's a million different ways to build your business. So,
Hmm.
there's tens of thousands, I'm sure, maybe even hundreds of thousands of agents who have taken Millionaire Real Estate Agent book and followed it to a T, who are crushing it.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah, good for them. That's awesome.
it's
Exactly.
awesome.
Not me.
Man, I appreciate you coming on, bro. We're like a hour and a half in here.
I know.
It's been great to chop it up with you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, dude. It was great. I can't wait to I don't know, probably see you somewhere, Inman, something.
Yeah, yeah. Where can everybody find you and all that good stuff?
Instagram's the best. Matt.Lionetti, Lionetti.
Yeah,
Easiest way to find me. I respond to all DMs, everything like that. So yeah, find me there.
cool. I'll link it in the description, man. We'll see you soon.
Sweet. Awesome. Thanks, dude.
See
Take
you,
it
bro.
easy, Ricky.